This episode is sponsored by Audible, which, if you don't know, has a great selection of audiobooks, originals, and podcasts. And right now, if you go to www.audibletrial.com/popculturepodcast, you can get a free 30-day trial of Audible Plus, which lets you listen to a selection of audiobooks, originals, sleep tracks, meditation programs, and podcasts. Or you can get a free 30-day trial of Audible Premium Plus, which gives you all of that from Audible Plus, as well as one free title per month from an extended selection of bestsellers and new releases, and you own those, so that's awesome. So if you want to go get that 30-day free trial of Audible, that website is www.audibletrial.com/popculturepodcast. Now on with the show.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
All right, so Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is out now. I was fortunate enough to see it twice. As of recording this, it is Thursday, almost Friday. It's getting towards midnight here. But yeah, I saw it twice in one day. Yeah, when it comes to reviews and stuff like that, I usually don't watch movies twice, but when it comes to this one, I was like, definitely gotta check this one out more than once because there's gonna be a lot in here to talk about. And there definitely is, but this is my non-spoiler review, so we won't be getting into anything huge here in terms of spoilers, cameos, anything like that, major plot details. Because honestly, like I said in my initial thoughts, this whole movie is a spoiler. There's literally not much you can talk about without spoiling it. So yeah, we'll see how I can get past 6 minutes with this one. Because that's how long my initial reaction slash thoughts video was. But yeah, if you're listening on the podcast, non-spoiler review here. And then I'll be getting to some spoilers soon. By the way, I'm still getting used to doing just YouTube videos rather than posting the podcast episodes and then also having these YouTube videos be put into podcast form. Still getting used to that. Maybe it won't be the way that I'm always going to do it. Maybe I'll actually review things twice, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still getting used to the new way I'm doing things. But by the way, rocking this Rogers the Musical shirt. Got it from FYE, and I love it. Wore this to the movie. The first time I went, I actually wore my Pop Culture Podcast shirt, but I was like, hey, got to put on a cool Marvel shirt, that's for sure. I am seeing it again tomorrow. As of recording this, it's Thursday. Seen it twice already. Going to be watching it again tomorrow in IMAX 3D. I watched it in IMAX twice. And yeah, I'm really trying to think of what I can say without spoiling anything. So let's talk about the cast here. Not a like huge cast, and with cameos and stuff like that, there's certain people I can't talk about, but we have Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, as Dr. Stephen Strange. We have Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch. Chiwetel Ejiofor, probably saying that wrong, as Baron Mordo, which I just realized not too long ago. I saw like a pop figure from the first Doctor Strange movie, and his first name is something that does not sound badass at all. What is it? Carl. Spelled with a K, so it's a little bit cooler, but his name is Carl Mordo, and your cool points went down a lot with that first name. But Benedict Wong as Wong, and then I think this is how you say it, Xochitl Gomez, probably saying that wrong, as America Chavez, and then Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. And that's all I can really talk about here. However, there is Sheila Atim as Sarah, and Adam Hugill as Rintra. Probably saying that wrong. Two kind of new characters. I said this in my initial thoughts video. Excuse me. Those two characters, they made pop figures out of them, And this is a mild spoiler here, but they're barely in the movie. Um, yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny that they made pop figures for two characters that really didn't do a whole lot. But yeah, let me see if I can even read this synopsis without yeah, I think I should be fine. Doctor Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens the doorway to the multiverse, including alternate versions of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda Maximoff. Um, yeah, so I did do a predictions video a couple videos back, and I can't say anything right now about my predictions, whether they came true or not. Um, so yeah, well, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. I don't even know why I brought it up. But Sam Raimi directed this film, which if you don't know, Sam Raimi directed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. He's also done Evil Dead and a bunch of other stuff. He's done a lot of horror projects. And this movie is definitely a horror movie for sure. Um, Out of all the Marvel projects so far, Disney Plus and the movies, this is the most violent and scary Marvel film slash, you know, in terms of the films and shows, like all heaped together. In terms of like the entire MCU, this is the most scary and most gruesome that the Marvel universe has ever been. I mean, you have Deadpool and stuff, but technically that was Fox, and so that doesn't really count. Moon Knight, I mean, it was violent-ish, but I think this movie surpassed that, to be honest. Because there's scenes like you see in the trailer where there's, Wanda Maximoff, she kind of has blood on her face, and in the movie, like it looks like blood. It's not like super dark like they do with a lot of blood, like they did in Moon Knight, where they make the blood almost look black to avoid, trying to make it rated R or anything like that. So this movie goes hard for sure. And Sam Raimi, you can tell that he directed this film because it has his flair all over it when it comes to the editing, the music choice, just certain cinematography, visuals, all sorts of stuff. Like this movie has Sam Raimi written all over it. Um, it is a good thing for the most part. There are elements of this film that don't work for me. Um, I don't know if I said this already, but this is not my favorite MCU movie by a long shot. Um, there's so many good MCU movies, and not to say that they're getting worse because they're not. I really love No Way Home. I really love Shang-Chi. I've watched that movie. I watched both of those movies a lot of times. Probably Shang-Chi more surprisingly, but I really do like that film. Um, yeah, I'm really trying to dodge spoilers here. There's so much to spoil. And I'm excited to get into the spoiler conversation because it's gonna be fun. But yeah, what else can I really say? Not a whole lot. I mean, I can tell you one of my predictions that came true, which I had a feeling going into it this would be the case. Uh, America Chavez was a much bigger part in the film than what they advertised. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing in my predictions that I can actually talk about. I can't confirm or deny any of the other predictions, whether they came true or not, because, like I said, this is a non-spoiler section. But yeah, that aspect at least, America Chavez did have a very big part in this movie, which I enjoyed. I really like, and again, hopefully I'm saying the name right, Sochi Gomez. I really like her in this role, and I'm excited to see what they do with her going forward. Um, Benedict Wong is Wong. I can always give or take his character. He's kind of the comic relief for the most part. Um, as of right now, and if you've been watching the other Marvel movies, because of the snap, Wong is Sorcerer Supreme, which we already knew from, I believe, Shang-Chi. I don't know for sure if they addressed it there, but I know for a fact they addressed it in No Way Home. But yeah, Wong is Sorcerer Supreme, but Sorcerer Supreme is such a big deal, but he doesn't really stand out a whole lot in this film to me personally. I mean, he has enough to do, but not a lot. Christine Palmer, I would say, funny enough, actually has more to do in this film than Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme himself. But I don't mind that because I'm in love with Rachel McAdams. I really am, honestly. I saw her in a movie called About Time, um, with Donald Gleason. No, that's not right. The dude from the Star Wars sequels with the kind of gingerish red hair. Um, I really like that movie About Time, and I kind of fell in love with Rachel McAdams in that movie. So ever since then, I've had a huge crush on her, and seeing her in this movie, I really enjoyed that. So I mean, Christine Palmer, she's the human character. She was kind of just the love interest in the first movie. Spoiler alert for What if you haven't watched it, but the story they did with her character there, with involving Strange Supreme, I thought that was really good. Probably one of the best episodes of that show. Um, but yeah, I like what they do there. Um, in terms of just like Easter eggs and stuff like that, I'm gonna have to wait until New Rockstars posts something because I know there's gonna be a lot that I missed. When it comes to the spoiler discussion, there's definitely gonna be things that I missed. But yeah, I can't wait to see their breakdown and just see all the things that let's just see how much deeper this movie is than on the surface level. I try to look a little deeper and try to find the Easter eggs and stuff like that. And I kind of did a little bit here and there. Um, but there's definitely things I didn't pick up on. Now, in terms of what shows you should watch in preparation for this, if you haven't really watched many of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, Loki, you're fine. Kind of a spoiler there. It's like, you know, Loki doesn't have anything to do with this. It's a 2 hour and 6 minute movie, and that's including credits. So it's really not that long of a movie. There's a lot to fit in to that small amount of time. That being said, I do think maybe like 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes added onto the movie would have helped it a little bit more to flesh out certain characters a little more. Because they had a really good setup with America Chavez, but they didn't go far enough with it. Um, just in my opinion, and maybe they did that for a reason. But yeah, I'd like to see what they do with that character going forward. Um, One thing I was thinking about, and you know this from the trailers, Marvel's Illuminati is in the film. I would like to see them going forward and like maybe doing an Illuminati show or movie. That'd be kind of interesting. I feel like show form might work a little bit better, but they can get away with a movie. Um, but that probably won't happen just because they have so many other things to do. But this film did set up a lot of multiversal stuff and open some doors for the future, possibly with certain characters. So I appreciate that for sure. Definitely a little bit of setup. I said this in my initial thoughts slash reaction. Um, Definitely stay after the credits. There's two post credit scenes or after credit scene. There's after credit scene, post credit scene. You know what I mean. So stick around for those. It's a Marvel movie, so most people do. Um, but yeah, let's talk about the horror aspects of this movie a little bit. Uh, I mean, this, like I said, this went harder than Moon Knight for me personally. And Moon Knight had some kind of dark themes. Mainly, the darkest thing about Moon Knight is just like dealing with the mental health aspects of it with Mark Spector and that show. But with this, it's just pure horror. Like, I can't even talk about a lot of it. But yeah, there's like monsters and stuff in here, and yeah, there's gruesome kills. Yeah, that's all I can say. It's a pretty gruesome movie, and there's actually like kind of somewhat blood in it for the most part, and I appreciated that. This movie does go pretty hard for beating PG-13. I'm surprised the certain things that they got away with, but this wouldn't have worked. It was if it was rated R, but at the same time, like if your kid is under maybe like 10, maybe 9, this movie might freak them out a bit. It's a little freaky depending on like what they're used to watching. Because as a kid, I'd watch maybe not horror movies, but I'd watch like pretty gruesome action movies like Terminator 2 and stuff like that. I would say for the most part, that's kind of a gruesome movie. I mean, he kind of like in that movie, I think he cuts like a hole in his skin or something like that to deal with the hardware inside of him. So that not for kids really, but I mean, it's a Marvel movie still, so it's not absolutely horrifying to the point where it's just like kids couldn't watch this, but until they're a certain age, I feel like some of this might freak them out a little bit It's a little freaky. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of how I feel with like maybe the new Jurassic World movie. There was a shot I saw in the trailer of that where a dinosaur was just eating a dude, and I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily great for kids. And they have that dinosaur, or not dinosaur, but the Jurassic Park show on Netflix, the like animated cartoon for kids. And now kids are like, I want to go watch that movie. But it's like people get eaten in those movies. It's not for kids necessarily, but it really depends on the kind of parent you are, how I guess mature your kid is, or how well they can handle that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is definitely a freaky movie. This is the scariest Marvel movie so far, and I would like to see them do something similar again. But at the same time, they're doing so many different things. I wouldn't want them to repeat themselves. Um, one last thing I'll say in terms of non spoilers, I'm really curious to see what they do with certain characters going forward, mainly America Chavez, a little bit Doctor Strange. But one thing I forgot to say, this is much more of a Wanda Maximoff movie than Doctor Strange. Honestly, they should have called this movie like Scarlet Witch or something like that, or Wanda Maximoff. I don't know. Um, because I feel like she was a really important part of this movie, almost more important than Doctor Strange in some ways. But yeah, that's all I can really say in terms of non spoilers. Hopefully, I didn't say too much. I don't think I did, but um, I'm not sure how long I've been recording here, but hopefully over 6 minutes. I think I should be good. But yeah, like I said, there's just so much in this movie that's a spoiler, to the point where it's hard to even talk about the film and not spoil anything, because Real Rejects said it best. They're like, this whole movie's a spoiler, and it's pretty accurate. Um, I will say one thing before I talk about spoilers, or for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, before I end this video here. Uh, there's a new trailer attached to this film for Avatar: The Way of the Water, and first trailer for the film that we saw. I mean, I don't care for the first Avatar movie. It's been a while since I've watched it. I don't think I ever watched it all the way through. It looks kind of good, but I don't know. It might just not be for me, but I'm still gonna watch it, of course, because I always do. And then also, I don't know if this is gonna be in every theater, but they also had a pretty lengthy look at Top Gun Maverick, which I think is coming out fairly soon, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it another movie that I'm thinking? No, I think it was Top Gun. It comes out this month, I'm pretty sure. Later on this month. I'm excited for that one. It looks kind of cool. Um, but yeah, that's all I can say in terms of non spoilers. So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Definitely go check out Doctor Strange. It might not be my favorite Marvel movie, but I still think it's really great, and a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I do think people might be a little mixed on it, but for the most part, I think people will enjoy it, and I think it will make a lot of money. Money, money, money. The theater I was in, it was pretty packed. I had to sit next to a stranger, which I never liked, but he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the last seat." And I was like, "Well, there's 4 empty seats in the very first row, so you just didn't want to sit in the first row, did you?" I don't blame him, but I hate sitting next to people in the movie theater, especially when I'm trying to like eat. I hate people being near me and watching me eat. I'm so self-conscious about it, but it is what it is, man. It's a big movie. It's a Marvel movie. Everybody wants to go see it, so I understand. Um, but yeah, for the first showing at 3 p.m., um, it wasn't as packed. The parking lot was pretty empty, to be honest, but it was at 3 p.m. on a Thursday, so people are at work. Most people are at work, but the people that are diehard fans and wanted to see this movie, they were in those seats. And I would say the second crowd was definitely bigger, but the first crowd was definitely louder. So yeah, just depends on the group you're with and how diehard fans they are. I will say though, in the first showing, nobody was dressed up or anything like that, but in the second one, there was a dude with the Doctor Strange cape, and I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to see it again. Excuse me, tomorrow, and if I build up enough courage by that point, I'm going to be doing a video. Excuse me, gosh darn. I'm going to be doing a video where I interview random moviegoers and ask them what they thought of the film. So as long as I have the balls to do it tomorrow, hopefully that video might be coming out and also be attached to the next podcast episode. Which, by the way, sorry if it's weird listening to the podcast right now. Just basically YouTube videos clipped together, essentially. But that's how it's going to be for a little bit until I figure out exactly how I want to do this. So, yeah, there's my non-spoiler review for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I would definitely appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video and subscribe. Push that notifications bell, and you can get notified whenever I upload an episode. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.